Bacteria, one of the most helpful yet fearsome living beings on the planet. As humans, we are vulnerable to all kinds of different bacteria that enter our body. These bacteria can be helpful in maintaining a good physical shape, but, depending on what type they are, they can also kill us. To keep us alive, our body has evolved and developed to adapt to this bacteria-filled world. From the skin to the immune system, we've naturally created all kinds of ways to defend ourselves, and in this video, we'll be explaining exactly what these things do. The first layer of bacterial defense is the one that is most physical out of all of them, the skin and mucus. First, let's go over the skin. There are 3 layers to human skin: the epidermis, the dermis, and the subcutaneous layer. Each of these layers go deeper into the human body respectively, and they have different specific functions. However, they all participate in a general classification of bacteria defender. The skin naturally grows hair follicles that grow from the dermis upwards. There are 2 glands that come with each hair follicle, the sebaceous gland and oil gland. The sebaceous gland produces something called sebum that makes the skin acidic and keeps skin moisture. Since most bacteria aren't able to live in acidic environments, this makes this gland incredibly powerful in repelling bacterial attacks. Now, let's go into mucus. Mucus is the thing that comes out of a runny nose, and it's found in your saliva. It's a substance that's very sticky and very disgusting to look at, but it serves a very important purpose. It works as both a barrier and a lubricant. Mucus is able to physically contain and kill bacteria with its texture and the internal immune cells that it contains. This is then expelled through coughing or sneezing. This layer is usually able to offset a substantial amount of unwanted bacteria before it enters the body. It's the external defense, and it serves as a very powerful tool. But what happens if the bacteria is able to enter the body?
Once a clump of bacteria enters the body and into the bloodstream, they are met by leukocytes, more commonly known as white blood cells. Millions of them constantly cycle throughout the arteries and veins, like security would at a bank, looking for what are called antigens. These are left behind by invading pathogens and are what alert the immune system as a whole that something has happened. When antigens have been detected, that's when the first of 2 types of leukocytes get to work. They bind to the pathogens within the body and swallow them, both for nutritional value and in order to protect the body. The phagocytes use lysosomes within their cells to trap the pathogen into a small vesicle known as a phagosome, effectively breaking it down and digesting it. As they do this, the phagocytes identify the antigen they just consumed and send this information to the lymphocytes, triggering the other phase of the innate immune system to begin.
Once the phagocytes have sent the information about the antigens, the lymphocytes start coordinating a larger scale defense. These lymphocytes are organized into 2 different groups: B cells and T cells. T cells serve to search for and kill body cells that have already been infected by pathogens. On the other hand, B cells, with the aid of helper T cells, use the information from phagocytes to produce antibodies. Antibodies are proteins that are specifically designed to provide the perfect defense against a specific antigen, and over the course of hours, they produce millions of cells throughout the body, hopefully completely neutralizing the threat over the next few days. The B and T cells are also able to store this information for future reference, and this allows people to develop immunity to certain diseases. This part in particular is what allows vaccines to work. By intentionally implanting harmless versions of diseases in the bloodstream, the body goes through this whole process and learns the antibodies needed to protect against the real thing. Overall, this concludes the cycle. The immune system eliminates foreign substances that could cause fatal damage by identifying it, creating weapons to fight it, and deploying it en masse throughout the body. The body has a whole system that is dedicated to defense against bacteria, and it has become very effective. There's a lot more that could possibly be covered in this topic, such as the power of bacteriophages and superbugs, but that's for another time. One thing that we need to always remember is that the body's limit is the one that is set by ourselves. We need to be there and help our body fight off these diseases to protect our health. Just remember the acronym IWAC. Immunizations are important to protect you from diseases. Wash your hands often with soap and water. Home is where you stay when you are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, especially when you are sick. Cover your coughs and sneezes so you do not spread germs to others. Keep your distance from sick people so you don't get sick too. The human body is pretty amazing. Let's all make sure that we treat it correctly so that it can do its best to help us live.